Okay, I'm going to go over the example from chapter 3 about Woody's restaurants. If you recall from reading the chapter, you're being hired to determine whether a location for a restaurant will be an appropriate location or not. And you're going to have some data provided to you by owners of the chain. And some of the data you're going to have is the number of direct market competitors, the number of people living within a 3 mile radius of location I, the number of customers served in location I, and the average household income of the population in dollars. Of course, you want your dependent variable here to be the number of customers served in location I because you want to be able to predict how many customers a new location will have given the information from the other variables. I already downloaded the file, it's right here, and I already opened my Gradle. So to load up the data, I simply have to drag it in. It's going to ask me from where, I click OK, I click close. It's going to ask me if I want to give it some kind of interpretation as a time series or panel. I say no, and I have my data here. If I want to come up with summary statistics, I simply have to select the variables that I want, go right click, click on summary statistics, and I have it. From here, I can use my trusty snipping tool and I can just copy the information that would be interested, and I can just paste it in a Word file. Right now I'm just loading up all the data here. At some point I have to format it and things like that. So far I'm just adding here my material to work with later. Now let's say that I want to run a regression. So to run a regression, remember what we have to do is we have to select the dependent variable that we have and the independent variables that we want to have. So for instance, it'll be my dependent variable is going to be y, my independent variables are going to be n, p, and I, and I'm going to click OK, and it's going to provide me with my output. Again, since I'm just loading up my raw material, I use the snipping tool and I'm going to copy what I need. And it's right there. Now, if I want to present my results, if I want to document them, you're probably going to have to use the equation editor. You do that by clicking on the Insert tab on Word, and then you click on Equation. Now you're going to have to type the equation here. So I'm just going to give you an example of what would it look like in this setting, and I'm just going to start with an accent, and I'm going to put a hat. I have to put a hat to indicate that this is an estimated equation. Equals 1021.92, that's my intercept, minus 9074.67, that's my variable n, plus 0.03546, this is my variable p, plus 1.2879, this is my variable I. And I have my estimated equation here. If I want to put my standard errors, I just need to move to the right location and put my standard errors underneath. Standard errors are always in parentheses. Again, this is not the final product. Eventually I'm gonna format this in a better way. I'm just adding my raw material for later. Then I'm gonna edit my t-scores. And then I'm going to add sample size, and I'm going to add r square. Since I have more than one independent variable, I'm going to use the adjusted r square. And I can start writing anything that I want to write. For instance, if I want to interpret the coefficient for adjusted r-squares, I would say that given the data set, approximately 57% of the variation of y around its mean is explained by this model, and by this model we mean this specific equation, a linear equation, and these specific independent variables, and p and I, adjusting for degrees of freedom. That's the just straightforward interpretation of the coefficient for the adjusted r square.